Alrighty. Hello, Jonathan Coleman. Long time no see. We're back. At least slightly. At least I think we're back. We might be back. We'll see. We're kind of starting something new here. Trying to potentially get something going here. And that is a kind of a new Railroader series. That being what I'm dubbing the Midland and Western. And it's a vanilla map, but it's going to have kind of a different story. You'll notice we don't have a caboose, we don't have a boxcar, we don't have a really anything. We're kind of starting from scratch. This is going to be very much a story-based kind of a playthrough, almost kind of like some of what WNCRR does a little bit, for lack of a better way of putting it. But we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna be using some different mods, some mods that you may not have seen before, or if you have, it hasn't been on my channel. And yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna do tonight. So welcome, Jonathan Coleman. We'll see how many people kind of join us here, and we'll go from there. First things kind of first is we have a little Davenport here. Now, we do have a little bit of a freebie, and that freebie is in the form of our log cars. We do need some way to make money when we're starting the game here. Otherwise, this could get fun. And so we're gonna see what happens. This is kind of a spur of the moment thing. I've adjusted kind of into my new work schedule, but as a result, that means we are doing this a little bit later in the evening. But we'll see how it goes. May try and get on something of a schedule, may not. May do this when we can, sort of a thing. So we'll see. First things first, we're firing up MWRR number 1 here, which is a lovely little 45-ton Davenport. Little kind of switcher. And we got some surprises kind of in store you can kind of see in the background there. Definitely wasn't inspired by a couple of recent mod releases to kind of show off and get streaming again. So we're gonna try and see what goes on here. Yeah, I did hear about that, Jonathan Coleman. I heard about that when they first announced it, and I also heard that they're gonna have something like 18 short lines there too, which for an event that's being kind of executed in the span of about 2 months is kind of amazing. That they're going to get that much response and that many railroads participating. So good on them, and I think it's going to be a fantastic event. I unfortunately will not be able to attend, but if people are able to attend, I wish them the best of luck. It's going to be a good time. So we got little number 1 here. And it's pretty spry for a little switch engine. I do like the side rod action that we got going on here. And so, yeah. Been meaning to try and get back into streaming here. We're going to see how well this goes. This is kind of just episode 1 of the Midland and Western. We may stream some other games. I know General and I have been really getting into some Helldivers recently, so I might ask if he wants to stream some of that, but if not, up to him. Alright, but as we back down here, you may notice that instead of kind of a coach, we had, instead of a coach, a caboose, a hopper car, and a box car, we have an RSC-5 that is, how shall we say, clapped out, and 2 of Aspen's kind of DMU MP54 look-alike cars that are also kind of very clapped out. The story with this railroad is we're kind of a struggling little startup, short line, Taurus line sort of a thing, and we got to fix our equipment and struggle to make money in order to get by and restore our equipment and become a nice kind of almost class 3 short line that we really should be. But to that end, we're actually going to get this out of the way, because what we're going to do is move it over to another track in order to get to our coach there. The coach is in a little bit better shape than the cab car is, and I do want to restore the cab car kind of first. I know the diesel's just dead, so we're gonna have to kind of figure that out as we go. We're gonna be figuring out paint schemes and everything. So yeah, and Jonathan Coleman, you heard that if the merger does not happen, then the big boy will be back on the East Coast again. I don't know what the plans are for that. I will admit I got to see the big boy for all of 52 seconds. But it was nice to at the very least see it and go, kind of witness it with everybody and then go do my own thing. I was kind of in the mindset, because I hate to say I'm a little bit more introverted than a lot of people. I was kind of in the mindset of like, because of the crowd, if I get to see it, great. If I don't, no big deal. That may be kind of a morose take to have, but for me it's what was going to work for me, because I genuinely did not want to deal with all the crowds. I did not want to deal with all the people in order to go see it, and luckily I found a spot that allowed me that opportunity. And then I got to do my own thing for the rest of that night. So, if the big boy does come back to the East Coast again, they've now proven that it's possible. And they've proven that they at least have one route they can take. And probably proven that they can have more routes that they can take. Because, well, you may not know this, the RNN is not exactly a Class 1 railroad. So It is a Class 2 short line. So they've kind of proven a lot with this tour and everything. And hello, Human Beings 365. I'm assuming you're surprised either at our little funky Davenport or the fact I'm streaming. But regardless, welcome. And I hope you stick around and enjoy. All right, now that we got our clapped out RSC5 out of the way, I'm going to kind of go a little slow here to switch into our as clapped out passenger cars. And as you can probably tell, the drink this evening is Coca-Cola. Not sponsored, but if Coca-Cola did want to sponsor me, I would not say no. Alrighty. We got a good hitch there. We're probably gonna have to do some funky shenanigans here, because I remember Aspen saying you have to cut out the brake stands and MU them in order to get stuff to function right. I'm at least going to cut it out because we're not going to be using the MU functionality, at least not right off the bat. So, but yeah, like I said, this is base map. I did it this way. I kind of wanted to try out more rolling stock before dealing with the map stuff. Plus, with I'm not going to say it's going to be immediate because I don't know when, but with the impending, I'll say, kind of maintenance away update, and the fact that might break all the map mods, I kind of wanted to future-proof this mod pack a little bit, and this will become the Midland mod pack once I've done a little bit more testing and to make sure. that kind of works for what I want it to. So that'll be kind of nice. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to actually switch back onto the RSC5 here and get it in the cab car just in that siding so they're out of the way of any interchanges we get. And then we'll kind of position some stuff here going forward. There we go. A little bit of train air. Actually throttle off. So yeah, I see we got 4 or 5 people watching, so welcome guys. Probably a really weird time for people to watch a stream, but hey, if you become a night owl like me, welcome. You have a home here. Hope you enjoy, and we're just going to be kind of relaxing here. This is kind of a new beginning. It's been a while. It has been a genuine while. It has been longer than I really wanted it to be. It was longer than I was hoping it would be, and it was one of those things where once you get out of the habit of something, it's really hard to get back into it. And that's about the only explanation I have. It's not an excuse. It's not even really much of an apology, though I wish it could be. It's just one of those things where I kind of fell off the face of the earth there a little bit, mainly because I needed to work on some stuff in my personal life and, you know, get a little bit more stable personally, and then go and try and do some other stuff first before coming back to this. Now that things have kind of calmed down and settled, I don't know how often we'll be able to stream, but as often as we can, we'll stream, especially given my work schedule. And who knows, even with my work schedule, that means streams may happen at some different times. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see where this new part of the journey kind of takes us, and where we can see this kind of journey going. I did design this mod pack, though, like I mentioned earlier, to kind of show off some stuff that really I hadn't seen personally a lot of content on, and I kind of wanted to play with myself because it looked neat, like this RSC5, and there's some other stuff coming up, so that's what we're gonna do. And did I know that 1930 was when the first of many steel-toe boots was invented? I knew it was around that time. I just didn't know that was exactly when. So that's a neat little fun fact. And you were playing Roblox when you got the notification I was playing live. Well, hopefully more people join in on the fun. And if not, hey, we got to start somewhere. And in this case, we got to restart somewhere. So, you know, we'll make do, and it's whoever comes is welcome, and we'll go from there. All right, so now these cars are out of the way of the interchange, which is good. Also, can I just say, Aspen has done an amazing job on all of the passenger cars that Aspen's been working on. Like, these are amazing. The level of detail for this game is awesome, and I love to see it, and I hope it. I wish them the best, because these cars are amazing, and I definitely wish all the best. Because this kind of stuff is going to be, I hope, the new standard of what this game kind of strives to be. All right. So we got that. Let's get this set up. We're definitely not going to be hauling 72 passengers on this one. And I don't even think we're going to get much. We're going to get much kind of done in the way of a first day here. I think we're going to do one passenger run and then shove the lumber cars up the hill, and need to remember to activate some stuff here. So locations, you can tell we don't have a whole lot. Alrighty, we're gonna start all of our stuff at tier 1 here. And see what we can do. In fact, it might be beneficial if we just wait a little bit to send stuff up the hill there, because they don't really have any logs. And Jonathan Coleman found a website for more color of different railroads for hex codes. Nice. Very nice. Those always come in handy when you're trying to replicate something. This definitely feels a little weird. Little 45-ton switcher. One passenger car, side rods, only doing about 20. But hey, it's something, and it's something different. Like I said, I definitely want this to be a more kind of story-based playthrough. And I say story-based, but it's not like we're going to be role-playing or anything like that. But more of a... This is kind of what I envision the start of a tourist and short line railroad to be in this time period. And what that could grow into and what that could be. That doesn't mean the community can't help. The community absolutely can. If you wanted to donate in order to get a milestone, such as getting us to Bryson, we could do stuff like that. To kind of purchase new equipment, we can do stuff like that as well. But that's all up to you guys. I'm not gonna ask for it. If you want to do it, awesome. If not, I understand. And hey, if you just like the stream, that really helps us out a lot. So, especially with me trying to get back into this, trying to get back in the swing of things now that things have stabilized a little bit in my personal space. And, you know, kind of, for lack of a better way, get back in the saddle. B&O Blue is E1, E1, E1. I think that's right. That sounds right. Yeah. All right, let's not blow through the station here. That was a terrible grade crossing. All right. But hey, we made it. And I have discovered something that in my recent playthroughs with Angry is that in order to get passengers to load, you have to like fully set the independent at least, or it just there's like a delay or something to that effect. That's kind of the correlation I made. I'm not saying it's the correct correlation, but it's the correlation I have made. So hey, it works, right? The one thing is that we're definitely going to have to kind of take into account here is we're running with diesels. There's no steam engines on the save yet. And the kind of story I'm going for here is that we don't have a steam engine yet. Again, we're kind of a struggling startup tourist short line, and we don't have a steam engine. And when we do get one, we're probably going to have to rebuild it. So, you know, we're kind of figuring that out. Also, how are 24 passengers waiting? Okay, I guess hey, for the first run of the Midland and Western, we got 24 people, so it's more money than we had before, right? So let's kind of follow along here. I need to find a way to change that up. I know there's a mod that lets you do it, and this is the other thing. I don't want to release this mod pack quite yet, because I don't have everything kind of finalized. Okay, we're gonna go with that for a moment. So I guess I need to figure out how to do diesel horns. So, hey, we'll figure that out here eventually. All right, let's pick up the pace a little bit here. But yeah, I'm excited for where this game is going. Seeing the maintenance away update that's potentially coming soon. The map modding, like that's going to be a huge deal. I think what they're trying to do is, yes, they realize that, you know, the update's going to break a lot of the map mobs, so they wanted to make it easier to mod the map, which I think is kind of nice of them. Because that way people can get back into map modding a little bit quicker. That's just kind of my personal thoughts on that. I don't know if that's exactly what they were going for. I have no inside knowledge at all. But if that's what they were going for, I think they're going to succeed on it. And yeah. Somehow I get the feeling this switcher would not be doing 34 miles an hour in real life. But hey, you know, we'll just kind of imagine a little bit. And Jonathan Coleman's been doing custom thumbnails. That's nice. My intention with the series is that we're going to actually do something like that. I do want to get back in the habit of just doing a thumbnail per live stream instead of doing like a batch one like I was doing. So, you know, again, a little bit of process change. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to stream, but hey, if we can stream, you know, once or twice a week, awesome. And that's what we'll do. Ideally I would want 2 streams a week. Either this and another game, or two times with this. And we'll go from there. With hex colors. Very nice. Yeah, when I set this up, you may notice this passenger car looks very like rusty and brown. And it's about to look more brown. Because we're doing a lot of miles an hour. And that was because I went through and changed the hex codes to be a very nice rust color. Which I can show you here. If we go down to here, that's my rust color that I chose, 734 232. That's ultimately what I ended up going with, just to see. And it seems to work rather well. Rather well. So here we go, making our initial passenger run to Ella. And I'm debating whether or not I run around. Running around would be appropriate. But we could also just do not doing that. It's one car. So we'll see. I did sour on this game a little bit. It was starting to get a little stale, but I think that was more so because of me, not necessarily because of the game. And what I mean by that is I kept playing with the same mods almost all the time. And changing it up like I am is almost kind of breathing a little bit of new life into the game. And then that way I can show off some different stuff and, you know, see different horizons. I mean, I very well might do a stream where, hey, we're showing off that new, I think Raider's new Mohawk that he added to the game, that genuinely looks pretty darn cool. Especially given the news around a certain other Mohawk being prepared to leave its now former home. And that's right. 3001, if you've seen any of the pictures, is actually going to be leaving Elkhart sometime in the near future. I don't know. Again, I don't know when. And then that's watching that restoration is actually going to be pretty exciting, because it's a restoration that hasn't really happened before. Big Steam wise, I mean, we've had 2102 come back in the last 5-ish years. And 576, heck, had a successful Steam test just the other week. So big Steam wise, we've only had a couple of restorations really kind of kick off. So seeing that thing come back is going to be pretty nice. It's not like the 80s when almost every other half year we were getting a big Steam engine coming back. But I have heard that it seems like more Steam is kind of back than ever before, and I think that's true. It's more like we have more preservation going on than we really ever have had, and arguably doing more than it's really ever had, which is awesome to see. And I hope that trend continues. I really do. All right, we got 20 passengers of Whittier. I think we're just going to reverse. Yeah, we're just going to reverse. I know we don't have the cab car yet. Once we restore that thing a little bit, we'll throw the coach in the shop, and then we'll restore that RSC5. Especially once we start getting to Bryson and getting these more tonnage trains. So yeah. Alright, let's turn off the bell. This little Davenport's kind of nice. It's very nicely modeled. I'm not saying it's going to be like the most detailed thing in the world, but it's detailed enough. And for me, that works. You get the vibe of it. It's a very nice vibe. Maybe the actual engine's not as tall as this, but hey, again, you get the vibe. And maybe it is that tall. I've never seen one of these in real life. Let's get up a little bit more speed here. Let's get up to notch 2. Alrighty. Man, Aspen really did a nice job on these cars. Aspen does a nice job on all of their cars. I know I'm small fish, and they probably don't need me saying it, but they really do a nice job. All right, we're cruising at a good speed here. Bit of a different view. I will say Railroader's first person view is one of those things that when you don't have, if you don't have to utilize the in-cab controls, is just one of the nicest things. Okay, and this thing has a lot of cab controls. Things look like they kind of work here. Alright, those two don't work. Throttle should work. It does, okay. So those two don't. Okay. So the throttle works and the reverser works. And the bell works. And it looks like the horn. Yeah, the horn works. It's such a big horn for such a small engine. But yeah. We're just kind of getting back in the swing of things. Changing up the vibe a little bit more relaxed. And hopefully future streams will not be at 1 in the morning. But hey, you know, maybe they will be. Kind of branch out, diversify, as they say. Like I said, the drink tonight, Coca-Cola. Not sponsored, but if they did, I would not say no. Some other things I want to update you guys on. Yes, you may realize that I'm kind of the personality and person who edits the Friends of the East Broad Top videos. And so yeah, that's kind of, I will say that's kind of, that commitment is kind of what took up a lot of my time recently. Back in May, we obviously had the annual reunion, which was moved to May, which was a good time. Great event. Turned out very well. Turned out actually better than I could have hoped, which I will always take. And you know, you hope to build on it more for next year. But all the, you know, the presentations from that, the kind of just rigmarole from doing all those videos and doing all the social media for the friends, I'll admit it was burning me out and making me not want to do this. Because I was having kind of the mindset of, well, I'm already doing this just for a different organization, not personally. So it was a case of, I want to do this for fun, and it feels like work. And so it took me a long time to kind of recover from that mindset that I've been kind of not forced into, but kind of ended up accidentally getting into based on everything that was happening. And plus my own job struggles was kind of compounding that. So we moved on to this. And finally, I felt good enough to kind of get back into it. So here we are. When the big boys have certain speed, the side rods move in unison. I know the Heisler side rods move in unison. The Heislers will almost always move in unison. If they're not, it means one of the engine sets is disconnected. Just because of how the gearing works on the Heisler. With the big boy, sometimes they move in unison, sometimes they don't. It all depends on if one has a little bit of wheel slip, one doesn't. If one has slightly different size drivers versus the other, and when I say slightly, I mean within like a quarter to an eighth inch, it can make a difference. So, you know, it can happen. In fact, it can happen on a lot of articulates, like even 1309, or back when I was writing 1218. And Jonathan Coleman, this year for your birthday, it's on the first Sunday in October. Very nice. I hope you have a happy birthday in October, and if we're streaming then, I hope you join us, or actually I hope you don't join us, because I hope you're having a happy birthday. Or if you do join us, it's to pop in and say hi. Alright. We're getting back in. 20 passengers. We brought 24 people to Ella and 20 back to Whittier. That kind of means to me that we left 4 people behind. But oh well, that's their own fault. They had the chance to get back on the train, and they chose not to take it. So... Alrighty. Pulling back into the Whittier station. And they're very slowly getting off the train. Alrighty. And you may notice the time is kind of advanced forward. That's just from me setting up the save. It did start at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I just had to spend some time testing things out, setting things up. And I finally have stuff in a spot where I like it. We may add some stuff. We may take some stuff away. I will say there is nothing like the Jarl here. We do have a lot of lunar stuff that's publicly on Nexus. We have a lot of stuff that's very much... Everything... So I should specify, everything you see here is available on Nexus and is installed via Unity Mod Manager or its own built installer, like Beam and stuff. Nothing uses Railloader or strange customs or anything like that. We just used pretty much anything. I just personally wanted to keep it simple. Again, we're not using map mods, so that kind of took away that one variable. And again, it's just to make it as simple as possible. Looking at the time Jonathan Coleman needs to get to sleep, I don't blame you. If you do need to go to sleep, I hope you have a great night. Alrighty, we did our first passenger run. So let's get back to the yard here. How much fuel did we use? Only a gallon on that trip. Okay, good. I only used a gallon on that trip. Alrighty, so we did that. What should we do next? I feel like... Well, I feel like we need to get the cab car in the shop. Because that's the other thing. I know you can definitely put cars in there without with it sticking out the shop and it'll still work. I don't like the way that looks, so we're not going to be doing that. Which is going to make this kind of tricky. I'm not going to lie. It's going to make it a little bit tricky. Alright. So we got some log cars there. We may... Do we just sell those? I'm tempted to just sell those and not run the sawmill initially here. Just to get some more investment. Because we're going to need a diesel fuel stand. There's no two bones about it. And we're going to need parts. So here's what we're gonna do. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down here. We're gonna grab the cab car. We're gonna stick it in the shop. We're gonna drop the passenger car next to the shop. So we're coming in way too hot. Or do we just drop the... Do we swap the... Do we put the passenger car where the cab car is now? We might just do that. I'm basically using this passing siding as our deadline. Which, hey, probably not a bad way to go about it. Good hard couple. But hey... Alright, at least the cab car has functioning air brakes. That's good. Now these are unpowered. Aspen has versions of these that are powered. These ones are the unpowered ones. The kind of story reason I'm doing that is that these got depowered and just kind of shoved in a siding and became spare parts units for whatever railroad they came from. So that's kind of the lore, quote unquote lore reason that we're doing it this way. Yeah, I may just sell the log cars. Because if we sell the log cars, we might be able to get... if we sell them, we might be able to get... Yeah, 510, we have 8 of them. $4,000. We might be able to get a box car for that. Now, I know technically in a new save you'd start with one, but I want to make this a little bit more tricky. Alright, so this guy, equipment, repair destination. Yeah, this is, we're going to overhaul this thing. Because it needs it. It needs it. It really does need it. Alrighty. We're going to put this in the next stall over. Just for the sake of argument here. The coach needs fixed too, but the cab car's in worse shape, and if we can get the cab car up and running, then we can... My logic is we can get more money to fix the coach. That's my logic. Whether or not that's correct logic, we shall see. We shall see if that's correct logic. Okay, that's in the shop. We're going to bleed that down. And it's not fully in the shop. A little bit more. There we go. Okay. Bleed it down. Oh, that's a cool animation. Nice job, Aspen. I don't know how many of you guys caught that, but this cut lever animation, that was actually really nice. Good job. I know it's such a small thing, but alright. Cool. That's detached. Let's set a handbrake on there. Just in case. I think what we're going to do is we're going to set the coach on the next track over, but not in the engine house. Again, we're struggling short line. We need to keep some space open for stuff. Okay. You may notice that, like, I set it to overhaul, but it's only going to say a day because the mileage on it's not that much. I think there's a way I can change that. I'm not sure exactly how. I'm still looking into it. And if I can, in the future, we will. Bring this on back. Okay. Like I said, let's bleed that down. Handbrake. Okay. And we can still get around it if we need to. Alrighty. Now let's see what we can do about these log cars. A little quick. Hey, take it. Sell destination, East Whittier. Oh, that's right, we're gonna have to set this individually. Okay. Keep thinking customize. My apologies. You can tell I haven't exactly done this in a while. But hey, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. I feel like there's a better UI mod that might help out with this. I'll have to look into that. More things to look into. Alright. Do these cars have functioning air? They do! Good. Alrighty. Since these are in good enough condition to sell, guess what? That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to act as if this sawmill doesn't really exist. But it might exist. Should have enough time to pour some more sody. up ahead here. Probably don't need to go, we can pretty much go any track here, so. There we go. So we found these log cars and the remnants of a sawmill, and we're selling. I hear general crying in the background. Okay, come on. There you go. Alright, let's tie at least 3. Okay. So we've tied at least 3 handbrakes, and we're gonna run around these cars. And this might do it for day 1. Let's see here. How much? Oh, apparently I still have the open air cars installed. I was not exactly expecting those. How much though? Ability wooden, I don't need that. Capacity 30 tons. So $600. So we could actually buy that now. I didn't realize the boxcars were that cheap. Really did not. Okay. Well, let me think about purchasing one of those at some point. Okay. That's all normaled. Alrighty. So, we're doing some pretty good stuff here. We've been streaming about an hour already. Jeez, it does not feel like an hour. Okay. Well, we got this so far, so I think this might be a good screenshot spot. Potentially. There we go. Cool. Alrighty. So we got that taken care of. Now, the one thing I'm curious about, milestones. We can purchase diesel fuel stand East Whittier. We can start that at $350. We can purchase the track to Silva for 10 grand. I don't think we're ready for that. And we can, okay, so we can start the first phase of Ella track and bridge. And we can get the fuel stand. I think we do that. Let's do that. Okay, so we ordered those cars. We ordered those cars, and we have that set to sell. We haven't taken out any money yet, so that's good. We also have our first interchange set to serve those industries, which is fine. Okay. Okay. I think we can fast forward. Do we have a way to do that? Yeah, let's sleep. Okay. Let's see here. A lot of stuff looks like it's sold. We got $7,000 in the bank, and we got a lot of cars here to deal with. Let's see here. And our cab car is at 45%. Okay, so the cab car is getting fixed up. Cool. Let's see here. Ella Bridge site. So our diesel stand, okay, is buried. Our diesel stand's buried. So, thanks, guys. All right. So let's grab number 1 here. Let's release the handbrake. We're gonna pull forward here because we're gonna have to grab the cab car and use it kind of as a switching platform. Because we're going to have to switch around it. So, yeah, we'll keep going for a bit here. Don't know how long I'll go. Probably maybe until about 2:15 or so, or however long the switching move takes. But we'll see what happens. You know, we're kind of on a journey here. We're feeling this out. And this is going to be kind of run on vibes. What kind of vibes we're feeling. And did my mouse just die? I think my mouse just died. Well, that's auspicious. This is the downside of using a wireless mouse, folks. Don't get me wrong, I love my mouse. My mouse is great. But the one downside of using it is this. So that was a grade A whoopsie. Let's not slam into that car. Always remember to charge your mice, folks. All right. So we're gonna have to stop repairing the cab car. Somehow this is fully loaded. I don't understand how. Oh no, it's not loaded at all. Okay. I was reading the display weird, is what was happening there. Alrighty. So, we're gonna have to probably throw that. Nope, we already threw that switch. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna have to... This is gonna be some weird switching moves. Oh, the side rod motion here is actually really cool. It's kind of why I chose this over the 44 tonner. Not the 44 tonner is awesome, but I kind of wanted more industrial and kind of a vibe, and I feel like the side rides kind of provide that. Alrighty. I will say this kind of makes this a little bit of a tough switching move. Sorry, I'm having to adjust some things because of having to plug my mouse in. So yeah, we're just kind of having some vibes, some early morning vibes. Okay, now that we got this backed in, start taking a set. Okay. Let's take that. Hollow field oil. We'll at least drag it down to this end of the yard, so when we have to go and switch it, it won't take forever. Alright. This is actually kind of a fun little challenge. Because we're having to fix equipment up. We don't have a lot of horsepower right now. We bought a lot of cars, but we don't necessarily have... I mean, we probably have the horsepower to move all of them, but we probably don't have as much horsepower as we would have had we had a one of the starter steam engines. We only have one operable engine, kind of like the usual game. We have one usable coach at the moment, and maybe two. Well, actually, no. Technically, neither coach is usable. Technically. And we want to expand at some point. So we'll see what happens. So we're going to grab that. I'm going to move the tank car further down just for when we start switching this out later on, probably on a future stream. It's there and not so far back. I guess I could have drug both down with this, but oh well. Live and learn. Live and learn. WNC, Western North Carolina. Okay. So let's get these parts where they belong. Get this cab car back under repair. And then we will probably call it a stream there. While we do that, let's Our reputation is 101%, apparently. Alright, each one here. We have 15 tons of parts. So we're going to have to probably get a parts box car here soon. We're not going to be able to put it anywhere. Because one, we need to buy the parts. But two, this box car is going to be in the way. So I guess we'll have to make it work. Making it work. That's going to be kind of this railroad's motto. Making it work. Draw that down. Set a handbrake. We're going to pull forward. Get this back where it was, back to repairing. Okay. So that's fully inside the building. It's repairing. We're going to back down onto the coach. And we're going to call it a stream there. Not bad for a little hour and a half, a little bit, an hour and 15, hour and 20 minute stream. In the middle of the night. We'll probably stream again. Probably sometime in the middle of the day. Probably tomorrow around maybe 1 o'clock. We streamed around 1 o'clock in the morning here. We'll probably stream around 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Just to see how things go. And yeah. So as we get reset up here, I want to thank everybody for joining. I hope you kind of enjoyed this soft relaunch, this kind of middle of nowhere, middle of night stream. And I hope you come back for more. And as we start this kind of story-based playthrough of our little railroad here on the Midland and Western. So on that note, now that we've kind of dunked in, let's get some stuff lined up here. And F12. A nice little screenshot of Rooney. But on that note, guys, take care. I will catch you in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I'll see you down the line.